Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as
Hello, bonjour, sanbonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Dr. Riel Nkunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from our podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on human rights. So in Missouri, we have Dr. Nanette Newesel. And in British Columbia, we have Tara Piling. I hope I didn't butcher your last name. In Florida, we have Dr. Joy Vaughn. And in Oregon, we have Stephanie N. So at this moment, I'll just let our speakers to introduce themselves. So you can go ahead, Dr. Nen. Unmute yourself. Yes, you can go ahead.
Just an introduction, right?
Yes.
Okay. I am a traveling pediatric hospitalist, which means I take care of kids who are sick enough to be in the hospital, and I take care of newborn babies, and I love it. I'm also a healthcare coach, and I'm the head coach organizer for the monthly suicide prevention summit called Tangible Touchpoints.
Oh, wow.
Address suicide. Yes.
Wow. It's such an honor to have you. And I am really looking forward to hear more of your message. And thank you for saying yes, by the way.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm really grateful.
Yes. You can go ahead, Tara, and please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I am Tara Pilling. So you did say it correctly. And I'm an international mindset consultant. So I've been personally trained by the late, great Bob Proctor. And I'm also a third-time international best-selling author. I spent many years in holistic and energy-based medicine, yoga, Ayurveda, and meditation, and also traveling with Tony Robbins and Robin Sharma for quite some time. So I am just so blessed to work with individuals and businesses, leading them to the life and the results that they want. I absolutely love what I do. I also have 2 teenagers, and just living my best life and on purpose.
Oh, wow, Tara, you wear many different hats. And I love the way you've just invested on yourself. You've invested on yourself through Bob Proctor, through Tony Robbins, like the list goes on and on. Wow, it's such an honor to have you. And I'm looking forward to hear more of your message.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. You can go ahead, Dr. Joy, and please introduce yourself. You are muted. There you go.
Morning, lovely to be with all of you amazing ladies. My name is Dr. Joy Vaughn, and I am a brain and behavior coach. My background is in neuropsychology. So we do a lot of work in shifting molecules. What I say is one neuron at a time. And I do that in my coaching practice. I work specifically with couples who are divorcing and just are having some difficulty in that area, or executive women who are transitioning from one area of life to another. Just need a little bit of help, being able to embrace their new reality. So that's who I am. I'm originally from Barbados, but I'm here with you today from Florida. And I thank you, all of you. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's an honor to have you, Dr. Joy. And really, I am really looking forward to hear more of your message. And the way you are just impacting lives out there is really, really priceless. So we're honored, we're humbled to have you on this platform.
Thank you.
You can go ahead, Stephanie, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Stephanie, and I am very grateful to be here as well. And I'm excited to share a little bit of my journey, what I've been through. I am a domestic violence attorney, and I won the Governor's Award for my advocacy for women and some men who have been through domestic violence. I am a survivor myself. I was married to 2 narcissistic men. And so my journey of 17 years of being married to these men and this personality type, I now lead others on a healing transformation journey. So I'm also an EFT practitioner, and I use a lot of different healing modalities to help women on their healing journey and help them find true freedom and empowerment.
Oh, wow. Wow. Stephanie, we need more. We need more like you. We need more like you who will stand up for the voiceless and be like, enough is enough. It's high time the world get to know all this. So wow, we're honored, we're humbled to have you on this platform, and really your personal journey that you're going to share with us, really, I believe it's going to impact as many lives as it can. So thank you for being with us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network today. So here at Rise to Greater, I know when you speak of human rights, really, it's quite a sensitive subject that you can just discuss with the whole world. So here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, we always have a disclaimer. We are only here to provide information about human rights to the public. So legal information is not the same as legal advice as to the application of law to an individual's specific circumstances. So we cannot offer any legal advice in response to specific questions. We strongly recommend that you consult a lawyer if you need such help. So we're going to get started. I have an icebreaker question for you, Dr. Nan. If you happen to have your own billboard, I can see your billboard coming down there in the busy highway in Missouri. What will your billboard say? Unmute yourself.
It would say, I'm Dr. Nan and I can help.
I am Dr. Nan and I can help. You've just availed yourself. I love it. I love it. Right here. As long as you seek help, I'll be here to help. I love it. I love it. How about you, Tara? What will your billboard say? Maybe your billboard is already down there in the busy highway in BC. Who knows? What will your billboard say?
It would say it's an inside job. Get the inside right and the world will follow your lead.
Wow, it's an inside job. Like Dr. Nan started with, I'm available, I can help. And now it's an inside job. Get what?
Get the inside right and the world will follow your lead.
Wow.
And then maybe reach out at the bottom.
Wow, we see, we're all available. We're available. I love it. Wow. How about you, Dr. Joy? What will your billboard say? I don't know if it's gonna be in Florida or the Barbados. What will your billboard say?
Well, first of all, there would be a picture of me on a camel.
What did he say?
There would be a picture of me on a camel. And the billboard would say, it's time to reinvent yourself and learn how to be resilient. You can do anything you put your mind to.
Wow. I can picture that you on that camel, and you're just saying that it's possible. It's even possible to climb that camel, because thinking of a camel with
you have no idea. It was my first time riding a camel. And I have arthritis, so you can imagine me trying to climb this thing. I'm praying to God. Really, I tell the story. I was praying to God, and I'm in a Muslim country, and I'm going, Jesus. So I'm going, okay, I hope don't, it's two different things. That's what it would be. but I made it through.
Oh, it's possible. All things are possible. I love it. I love it, Dr. Joy. Wow, all things are possible. It's possible, really. It's possible. Like, that's what I always say. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe you become, it's possible to do anything that you put your mindset in. I love it. I love it. How about you, Stephanie? What will your billboard say?
My billboard would have a beautiful old vintage skeleton key on it, and it would say, "We have the keys to unlock our healing and our potential and our empowerment within us."
Wow, we are just holding the keys to unlock our full potential. We have the keys. We are the ones in charge now. I love it. I love it. So I believe my billboard will be the 5th billboard driving down the highway. And it's going to say what? The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. It's definitely coming. It's coming. So we're going to get started. We have Dr. Nanette Anuasl, MD, or Dr. Nen, as she is affectionately known to patients and colleagues. She has led an exciting life as a frontline pediatrician, providing excellent care to patients for over not 10, not 20, but 30 years. She has spent the last half of her career giving back to the rural areas that are short-staffed. Most recently, as a pediatric hospitalist, she has concentrated on her strengths, stabilization of critically ill infants and children, acute airway management, and attendance at high-risk deliveries. So Dr. Nen runs the coaching company, Beat Down Burnout, which utilizes a unique process of personality science to promote communication skills, emotional intelligence, and relationship building, allowing healthcare organizations to improve staff retention, increase patient safety, and reduce risk management. This helps both the organization and their staff for them to find opportunities and learn new ways to build trust and fight to prevent bullying and burnout. She has been a guest on Fried, the Burnout podcast, which is the #1 burnout podcast in America. She has also been featured on Kevin MD, both the newsletter and the podcast, and the popular nursing podcast, Nursing Strategies for Success. And most recently, she has been published in Authority Magazine for the 5 things she will change in healthcare. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Dr. Nanette Anuasl.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Pelini, for allowing us to come here and speak today. I really appreciate that. As Dr. Kanini said, I'm Dr. Nanette Anuasl. I'm a traveling pediatric hospitalist with over 35 years experience on the front lines of healthcare. I'm also a healthcare coach and founder of the company Beat Down Burnout, working with individuals and organizations to battle bullying and burnout in the workplace. I don't restrict myself to the niche of healthcare. I've had clients in IT, in marketing, and several other industries. And I believe that everyone has the right to feel safe in the workplace. I believe there are gold nugget staff members and rising stars who have yet to be recognized in every industry. And I believe that many people experience burnout and bullying in the workplace that leads to stress-related illnesses. At Beat Down Burnout, I've created programs that combine my 35 years experience in healthcare with my certifications in NLP, the Bank Methodology of Personality Science, and timeline therapy. And with these programs, I give you tools to create a safe and trusted workplace where people communicate in a way that acknowledges everyone's value. The coaching I provide can free you from work-related stress and the physical manifestations of that stress. And our mission is to change the world by changing work environments so that people look forward to going to work, want to stay until retirement while feeling fulfilled and whole. See, I've seen people bullied to the point of developing burnout. And in fact, bullying is one of the key drivers of burnout. I've seen people bullied at work to the point of committing suicide. And at that time, I didn't know what I know now. I wasn't able to help my friend. But it's important for you to understand that there is help available and that I have tools that can help. I was bullied myself, me, a board certified pediatrician with all these years experience, was bullied by a charge nurse. And she only had 5 years experience as a nurse and no experience as a charge nurse. In order to establish her authority, she argued with everything I said, everything I wrote, every order, everything I did. And eventually it got to the point where she was throwing things at me. I went from being the queen of newborn resuscitation to dreading going to work every day. I couldn't sleep at night. My migraines were out of control. I was losing my hair. I developed something called IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. And my GI symptoms were so bad that there were days I was afraid to leave the house because I didn't want to be that far from the bathroom. I don't know if you've ever felt that way, but it is not a comfortable feeling. I found out about these different methodologies that I now use. And I was able to shut down that unit bully in 3 days. In 3 days, I got her to stop bullying me and several other people in the department. Within 3 weeks, nurse managers from other departments came to me and asked me to do conflict resolution in their departments around the hospital. And that's how I got started. And I'm now doing this internationally. I went from being the queen of newborn resuscitation to questioning whether or not I belonged in the field of medicine. And I don't know, have you ever questioned if you belonged in your chosen field? If so, I want you to know that that's not the end. That there's a light at the end of the tunnel that is the help that's available for you. My company takes you from dreading going to work to feeling seen, heard, and acknowledged, to feeling safe and valued. And I'm sure there's somewhere here, someone watching here who wants to feel safe and valued. I now have a fulfilling career as a physician and as a coach. My migraines have disappeared. My IBS is nearly completely resolved. And I feel, more importantly, I feel whole. I feel valued and I feel trusted. And I help others to do the same. So just to reiterate everything I've said, or say it in a different way, my coaching company, Beat Down Burnout, helps employees and organizations to create trust and safety, to acknowledge one another, and to anticipate work with joy in their hearts. And as a bonus, I'll help you get rid of the physical manifestations of stress, such as headaches, hair loss, and tummy troubles. I travel worldwide now, visiting incredible places and sharing this information. If you would like to feel whole, valued, and trusted, if you'd like to feel seen, heard, and acknowledged, if you'd like to be safe, then set up a connection call with me at the link that I've just put in the chat. And it's just a complimentary short call to see if we click, see if we can move forward together. I also have a gift for everyone. It's called a communication guide. It's written with healthcare in mind, but it applies to all communication in the workplace. And that means it translates to other industries. So that's my second link there in the chat. That's free to you, free to everyone who's watching. I'm Dr. Nan, and I can help.
Wow, wow, wow. Dr. Nan, thank you so much for sharing such a profound, much needed message. And yes, you are Dr. Nan, you're available to help. So I believe our audience will definitely reach out to you. I love the way you've actually nailed down your personal story around bullying, because One thing I've realized that if you have ever been bullied, it's so hard like to open up. But the moment that you open up, you won't believe how many people can open up because you decided to open up. And
Yes.
I like the way that you've said that bullying can actually be stopped using words. You can
Yes.
just stop bullying, just using your words
Just
and
using words.
listening. Yeah. And listening to value changes everything. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dr. Nan, for sharing such a profound message. So now we are coming from the US, coming back to Canada, where we have Tara Pelling. Tara believes that everyone has acres of diamonds in their mind, just waiting to be discovered and shined up. So a diamond in its rough state is unrecognizable, and a diamond is formed under intense heat as well as pressure. So take a long, careful look at what you are presently doing. Napoleon Hill said that we should not go searching for opportunities, but reach out and embrace it right where we are. Never forget that you are at this moment standing right in the middle of your own acres of diamonds. So Tara is an internationally recognized mindset consultant and an inner circle leader with Bob Proctor and Proctor and Gala Global Inc. She is a personal student of the late great Bob Proctor, and Tara was personally mentored by Bob from 2017 until his passing in February 2022. She is a universal law expert, laws of mankind student, prosperity guide, international best-selling author and a speaker, holistic and energy-based practitioner, yoga and meditation teacher, and Ayurveda coach, whatever that means. She absolutely loves mentoring and guiding others towards their big goals, dreams, and best life. She's always in service. She says that when you have the ability to serve and help someone, just do it. She lives in BC, Canada with her family. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Tara Pelling.
Thank you so much. And it's Ayurveda, Ayurvedic
Oh,
coaching. Yeah, which is a medical science to sister science to yoga. So it's the oldest medical science that's known. So yeah, I am so grateful to be here and having this conversation around human rights. And I think that the problem when we're looking right now at the planet and, you know, in the past as well around human rights is there's a lot of focus on the problems. And this is the thing is leadership is about focusing on solution. And we want to be focused on solution at this time. And I can tell you my mentor, Bob, would always say this. He'd say the only problem and the only solution is you. I mean, that's why I always say when you get the insides right, the world will follow your lead because it is an inside job. When you understand universal laws, when you understand your mind, I mean, it's a game changer because the world outside is oftentimes a reflection of the world inside. So you got to go internal, you know, as within, so without, as within. And this, you know, we don't always like hearing these kind of ideologies or quotes or suggestions because what does that mean? Well, it means I've got to take 100% responsibility for my life. I've got to take 100% responsibility for my results. Now, I'm also a Ho'oponopono practitioner with Dr. Hugh Len. And that's one thing when I started studying with Dr. Hugh Len, which of course aligned with everything that I was studying and doing, it was like, again, you got to take that ownership. You got to take that responsibility, which is actually really empowering. And it doesn't say that, you know, what's happened to you, if you've gone through trauma, if you've been hurt. I think everybody on some level has experienced some sort of hurt or upsets or trauma. But what it is saying is it's my life. Like, I'm responsible for this life. So, you know, it's time for me to, you know, pull up the big girl, big boy underwear and take responsibility and move forward. And I always say the activation, like, we're all activated. The activation is always the indication of where, you know, there's a lack of alignment or harmony or peace within, right? Peace within, peace without. Peace outside, you know, is always reflected on the inside as well. So that's the, you know, I've been thinking a lot since you asked me to join this conversation around human rights. And I really believe that the problem is that we've got generations of genetic and environmental programming where there is just a lot of hurt. And we need to definitely shift many of the systems on this planet, like the government, the, you know, healthcare system. There's definitely some paradigms that need to shift. And I think that's why right now there's so much chaos. There's really a lot of chaos because the consciousness on this planet is starting to shift. People are starting to wake up. People are starting to take responsibility. And that's what I teach. It's all about leadership, right? If you are not taking the time right now to get your internal right and become the leader of your own life, really, that's where you are in charge of you. It's going to be a hell realm moving forward. You know, it is time to be the leader. I think everybody out there, this is where, again, the problem is they're looking for somebody to lead. They're looking for their government to save them, the healthcare system to save them. I really appreciate the other women here on the call because the leader you're looking for is you. It really, truly is you. And the more you dive into these kind of ideas, you know, it's really empowering. You know, we are here to lead. I mean, our creator, whatever you call that, God, you know, Allah, Krishna, I don't care what you call it, spirit, you know, wants us to lead and really wants us to win. It's so important. And I think for those that are going through a really difficult time right now, definitely relatable for all of us women that are here. That's why we get into the work that we're in, right? I think that it is so important to recognize no matter what you're going through, no matter how difficult the situation is, that you can get through this. That, you know, there's a saying, your mess is your message, that there's opportunities for you to really, truly be the leader and really be in service. I mean, I believe that's a purpose in living. It's really to serve. I always think of like Dr. Viktor Frankl. You know, he was a Vietnamese psychologist during the Holocaust. And that's one thing he discovered. And not only did he save himself, I mean, he lost everything. He lost his wife, he lost his manuscript, he lost his life's work, everyone he loved. And he discovered that, you know, everything can be taken away from a man. You can put a woman as well, but their ability to think, their ability to choose their thoughts, to choose their attitude, even in the worst situation. He says, forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess, except one thing, your freedom to choose how you will respond to the situation. I mean, leaders are focused on the solution. Leaders respond. Where failures, you know, tend to react. There's a very reactionary energy. So we want to truly just be the leaders that we're looking for and respond in our lives. And we got to get the internal right. You know, we want to be in growth mindset. We're either growing and moving forward, or we're going backwards and we're slowly dying. And I think that it's absolutely essential at this time to really, truly understand your mind, to understand universal law. I mean, I've studied even, you know, laws of mankind. I mean, this, again, we have many systems that need to change. We need to get the education and the study. This will strengthen your faith. Unfortunately, the way that the systems work right now is through fear. If you put people in a state of fear, you isolate, you know, them, you feed them negative news all day through their subconscious, right? Then you have absolute control over their nervous systems and their minds. And so it is really important at this time that you get the study, the knowledge, that you start strengthening your faith. And one of the fastest ways to do that, by the way, no matter what situation you're in right now, and this would be an action I would suggest you to take, would be just to focus on what you can be grateful for. You know, there's a lot to be grateful for. I think that, you know, many of us, we can walk over to the sink and get clean drinking water. You know, we have a warm bed to sleep in. So really to focus on gratitude. And when you have the ability to serve and help those that are less fortunate, you know, I believe that it is a moral responsibility that we really show up as leaders. So I am just so grateful to be here, you know, amongst just such great leaders. I'm so grateful to you, Dr. Cunneen, because you've been reaching out for some time. And I will, as far as anybody who's interested in connecting to me and learning more about leadership, the mind, universal laws, how to really start moving towards, you know, that growth mindset and getting the internal, shifting the paradigm, you can reach out to me. I will pop in the chat box a link to jump on a discovery call with me, complimentary, no cost. And this is, again, a gratitude to Dr. Cunneen for inviting me and just being amongst just such wonderful women that are change makers on this planet. So thank you for having me.
Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Tara. You know, I am a forever student. I was taking notes. You've mentioned that the leader you're looking for is just you, no one else except you. You are the leader because leaders are focused on the solution. So you also mentioned that in order, like the world is so true, it just fills you with fear in this, fear. And you turn on the TV, you hear about this. So you better be grateful for everything. Be grateful for the moment. Be grateful for the present that you are in today. Thank you so much, Tara. I'll go back and watch the replay for sure. Thank you. And I believe our audience will definitely reach out to you for those who just want that positive mindset to be instilled in them. They will definitely reach out to you. Thank you. Thank you, Tara. So now we're going back to the US where we have, oh yeah, she's in Florida, not Barbados. I was like, okay, I don't know where Dr. Joy is. Yeah, so we have Dr. Joy Vaughn. Dr. Joy Vaughn is a passionate reinvention and resilience specialist who focuses on shifting mindsets one neuron at a time. She is a native of Barbados and a graduate of Columbia and Nova universities. She is a well-known personal development, neurocognitive, and emotional intelligence practitioner. Dr. Joy has helped many individuals and companies to increase their employees, to increase their employees' performance and bottom line. Her groundbreaking research assisted college freshmen in shifting their brain patterns and graduating from college. So Dr. Vaughn is the author of Powerful People, Powerful Lives for Teens and Young Adults, the 7-step empowerment series for the secular and Christian souls. And she also co-authored co-author of Expect World Leaders Volume 2 and The Art of Resilience, which is Phoenix's Rising. So as the brainchild of the International Business Resilience Summit, she hopes to bring businesses from around the world together for a global conversation with thought leaders and venture capitalists for an action-oriented process in order for them to ensure business owners are positioned to be resilient for their businesses and their lives. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Dr. Joy Vaughn.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, as I was listening to both of those speakers before, it really is about the mind. And today I wanted to do a couple of things. We wanted to look at the mind of the abuser. We talk about human rights and we talk about leadership of self, but we talk also about domestic violence, and I want to focus on that. So next couple of minutes, I want to look at what really goes on in the mind of an abuser, the top 5 signs of an abuser, and then how to be unblinded by love. You ready? So did you know, I was doing my research for this, abusers are focused on 2 things, power and control. And 85% of abusers are men, but the women are coming up as well. So did you know that most child victims are abused by a parent? Like in 2021, a reported 452,000 perpetrators were abused or neglected as a child. And because of that, then of course they grow up to be abusers. And 77% of them were victimized by a parent. Now you wouldn't think that. But again, you know, we have a saying in the islands that says, apple don't fall far from tree, right? So let's look at what goes on in the mind of an abuser. And I'm speaking of this specifically because, Nan, you said that you have to be able to lead yourself, right? And you know, you talk about bullying. Well, what really happens there that would prevent you from actually leading yourself to another place? It's all about allowing someone to dominate you and to have power over you, have the control over you. Now look, getting out of that is easier said than done. It does require a mind shift. But if you can understand from the other perspective what actually goes on in the mind, then I believe that you can actually head it off at the past and make a better choice for yourself. So consider that the cause of abuse is a profound lack of emotional intelligence. That is knowing when to be upset at the right time for the right reason. And that is compounded by a warped or skewed sense of reality, but only in their mind. And it starts in the brain in a little well-known structure called the amygdala. And the amygdala is there to protect you. It gives you the choice to fight, flight, run away, freeze, or appease. Either of those choices. But for the abuser, they are in a fight mode. For the one who's being abused, it's the other 3. So you can see how the 2 don't jive. Yes or yes? Yes? Yeah. So it's easier said than done to say, run away or get out of it. But I think that the warning signs are clearly there, but it's up to you to be able to look at it. So let's look at some of the warning signs, right? I always say there are 3 kinds of abuse. Physical, which is the hidden, the punching, and the violence. There's the emotional, verbal abuse, the put downs, any verbiage meant to make you feel lesser than human. And then there's gaslighting, which again is a process that the abuser uses to make you think that you're actually crazy, when in fact, well, you know, it's the other way around. And then there's the sexual abuse, which is a profound belief that I should and can do anything to you and your body because we love each other. Not so. So a lot of abusers use the mind control tactics. They deny and they minimize the situation. You see, a couple of things that you want to look for. Number 1, I always say, look at the root before you buy the fruit. Look at the root before you buy the fruit. So what do I mean? Go back and look at the family. Look at the relationship between the abuser and their mom. What is that relationship like? Before you get involved, spend time with the family, if possible, and get a sense of what the upbringing was. What did that person have to deal with? Because bullies hurt people, like you said, that hurt people. And if you understand the hurt, don't try to make a decision, because we decide as women from a couple of different places. Either we've been hurt ourselves, so we attract that, right? Power of the attraction. Or you have what is called the savior complex. I love this man so much, I can actually save him from himself. Please, you can't. You just can't. Am I making sense so far? Yeah. You can't. And that's okay, as long as you know that, then you can make another choice for you. And don't be desperate. Please don't be desperate. Just wait. I always pray about everything, but that's just me, So here are some things that I wanted you to consider. If you're with a mate, here's some top 5 signs, and they have an all-consuming jealousy. They want your full attention and time. They get angry and demand when you spend time with anyone else or try to control who you interact with. Red flag number 1. Red flag number 2, extreme possessiveness. Like an abuser may attempt to control all aspects of your life, including what you do, where you go, who you're with, and even how you dress. How about that? Red flag number 3, they isolate you from your family and friends, and they also limit your contact with people who are close to you, making it really, really difficult for you to receive support or feedback about the relationship. Number 4, unpredictable behavior. This goes back to the little brain, and that goes back to the little brain called the amygdala, where anything you trigger, and those triggers, it's like off and running at full speed ahead, unbridled, on steroids, right? And the extreme mood swings, you have that, and then the verbal abuse, right? Now, the thing about it is they blame others. You're always to blame. They never take responsibility. So I'm sharing all this with you to look out for the red flags. If it's a red flag, it truly is a red flag. And all your love in the world is not necessarily going to change them. But they really, really have to want to change themselves. Am I right, ladies? Yes or yes? And it goes back to that taking responsibility for you. Just what Dan says, 100% responsibility for you. You don't have to put up with that. You really don't. Find yourself. Find your self-worth. Dare to reinvent yourself and dare to be resilient, because that is what's going to keep you moving and have you have a phenomenal life. Easier said than done, and I am here to help you through that journey. You do not have to put up with nonsense from anyone. You know why? Because you're better than that and you're worth more than that. So, my offer for the day, right? Yeah, you have to get that in your spirit though, like deep down in your soul. And that's a journey, okay? And that's what I help you do, help you to reinvent yourself and be resilient. So today, I want to offer something really, really special. It's a trifactor. The first is a free discovery call with me. The second is a copy of my book, The Art of Resilience, Phoenix is Rising. Hope you can see that, right? Yes. And then the third is a free ticket to the Business Resilience Summit, which happens October 9th, 10th, and 11th. Why? Because resilience, reinvention, and resilience go hand in hand. Back of the hand, front of the hand. Come out. There's a thing that says you go through the valley. You don't camp and build a condo in the valley. Just go through the valley and come out on the other side. I'm Dr. Joy Vaughn, and I'm here to help you do just that. Thank you.
Wow, Dr. Joy, thank you so much. And I love your approach when it comes to domestic violence. You've shared around the abuser side, what goes into their mind, what goes into the mind of an abuser, and you've shared the top 5 signs of an abuser that, okay, you better watch for this because it's so real, really. Abuse is real, and it's not only women who have been abused, even men have been abused by women. And I also like the way you've kind of unfolded on how we should be unblinded by love. And the list goes on and on and on. I'm going to go back and watch the replays, but thank you so much, Dr. Joy, for sharing your fresh perspective in the mind of the abuser on this aspect of human rights. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So we have our next speaker. Our next speaker will be Stephanie. And so if you are in search of a captivating guest who not only shares a remarkable personal transformation story, but also possesses the knowledge and skills to guide others on their healing journeys, look no further than Stephanie N. So as a former attorney and a winner of the Governor's Award for Advocacy with Survivors of Domestic Violence, she has not only overcome adversity through various modalities, but she has also unlocked the limitless potential within. So as a survivor of narcissistic abuse and having experienced relationship trauma through 2 marriages to narcissists, Stephanie intimately understands the depths of emotional pain, isolation, and self-doubt. So her journey from victimhood to victory is truly awe-inspiring, fueled by an unwavering belief in the incredible capacity of the human spirit for healing and growth. Motivated by her own transformation and armed with a deep understanding of narcissistic abuse, Stephanie embarked on a journey to help others break free from emotional trauma and find true freedom. So with expertise as an emotional freedom technique EFT practitioner, she has discovered the incredible power of this modality in releasing emotional blockages, eliminating self-sabotaging patterns, and cultivating a life filled with joy, balance, and self-empowerment. Believing that the keys to healing and unlocking our fullest potential lie within each of us. So Stephanie offers a holistic approach that merges personal experience with professional expertise. By sharing her own powerful journey, she inspires and guides others towards their own transformative journey. Prepared to be captivated, enlightened, motivated, as Stephanie takes you on a profound healing journey that will leave you feeling empowered and ready to embrace your limitless potential. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Stephanie N.
Here. Oops. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Cooney. It is really an honor and a pleasure to be here amongst incredible women leaders. I can see why we are all on the same panel, because we all have something to do with mindset and transforming our beliefs. And so Dr. Joy already went in and touched on domestic violence and some of the things to look out for and some of the mindset of the abuser. So I thought I would just jump in and share a little bit of my story, being on the other side of that. And so, you know, for years, I was living a completely different story through a lens of why me. And only recently do I feel like I've really broken a pattern of calling people into my life through relationships that will teach me the lessons that I still needed to learn about owning this as my story and not anyone else's story. And I think Tara touched on that. We have to own our story. And so, you know, owning my story and of healing those parts within me that have had me feeling unworthy of love. And so that I would call these people into my life who would reflect that back to me over and over and over again through the manipulation, through the gaslighting, through the criticisms, the abusive words, you know, and just feeling like never enough for them. But then these men would come into my life and they would be the exact teachers that I needed. And I can say now, you know, for a long time, I saw my past 2 marriages, I saw these abusive men as monsters. But now I could say they are teachers. So I continued to ask over the years, why me? Why me? Why am I going through all of this? And I could see the violence. I could see the manipulation. And here I am, I'm an attorney. I'm a powerful woman. I worked in this field, but you don't always see what's happening right in front of you. You can see little pieces of it, but it's really when you step back and you can see the totality of everything that you start to understand what you're really going through and what you're in. And, you know, and there was a part of me that was still maybe drawn into this drama, drawn into this story, drawn into the victimhood of what was happening to me versus me being able to see what was for me. And it wasn't until after 17 years within these 2 marriages and the second marriage ending in violence where I found myself becoming blind in my eyes. I literally couldn't see for 6 weeks. And so I was sitting there in this rubble of my old life, unable to see. You know, I lived in Florida at the time, lost everything in a hurricane, we had a house fire, just so many things just happening. And I was sitting in this mess, feeling like everything had been done to me, blaming these men who had inflicted this on me, just sitting here in victimhood, asking why me? I didn't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. But here's the thing. In that moment, thinking about all of this, thinking about my eye and the physical manifestation of not being able to see, just sitting there, becoming curious of what is going on? Why can't I see? And, you know, and I think sometimes in those moments when we do become curious, when we do sit back and ask, you know, the universe, God, source, whatever you resonate with, they give us these moments in time where we need to sit back and just pay attention and see what's happening. And for me, I really felt like I needed to see my story through a different lens. I needed to see my story. I needed to shift my story from the victim story to the hero story. And it was only then when I was able to shift that energy from these 2 men being monsters in my life to them being teachers in my life, could I start to see the lessons. And someone once told me, they're like, Stephanie, what are the lessons that you've learned from these 2 marriages? And for so long, I would just sit there. There are no lessons. I didn't do anything. All of this kept happening to me. But when I was able to make that shift, I could see the lessons and I started to take my power back and I could see what needed to be healed. I could see what needed to be released. I could see where I needed more compassion and more forgiveness. But ultimately, I could see the patterns in the shift in the story that I thought was my reality, but it was no longer. And as I look at so many people out there, especially women, but also men, who find themselves in narcissistic or abusive relationships, it's a pattern. It's a pattern of unworthiness. And sometimes it's hard to see all of that. You know, in the beginning with all the love bombing, the trauma bonding, all this stuff, to see what is right in front of us until maybe we lose it all, like I did. And then during those times, we can pause and we can ask the questions. We can get still. And we have that moment where we truly see ourselves for who we are. We truly see it for what it is. And it's the very first time where we can shift our story from a why me to a for me. And I remember in that shift, I remember myself, hearing God's voice saying, Stephanie, it is done. You have shifted the pattern. And that's why I am here today. And that is what I help survivors do. I help them shift their story. I help them get out of the victim story, so we can put the old story in the past and we can rewrite your story as the hero of your story. And when you've made that shift, you can actually see the lessons. When you see the lessons, you know what to heal. I thought I was healed between marriage 1 and marriage 2, but I wasn't completely healed because I never stopped and saw what truly needed to be healed. And then once you know those lessons, you can sit with them, you can release them, and you can tap into the person you are becoming. Like we've all been talking about mindset. And a lot of times when we have been in these narcissistic, toxic, abusive relationships, it changes our brain structure. And so to heal it, we have to rewire our brain. We have to rewire our thought process. We have to rewire the way we think about ourselves and see our story. And so I can truly say that I have been able to forgive. I have been able to have more compassion. I have been able to see these men in my life, not as monsters, but as teachers. And I can thank them for the lessons they taught me. Thank you that boundaries are so important in my life. And thank you, husband number 2, that you have to be firm in those boundaries. Thank you that I am more important. And I don't like to say I'm deserving, because deserving sounds like we've had to work to earn something. I like to change the word to we are worthy, because we are worthy because that is just who we are. And so that's what I help survivors do. I help you see your story. I help you shift your perspective. We find the lessons. We know how to heal. And I use a lot of EFT. So EFT is emotional freedom techniques. It's the tapping. And then we can shift those patterns in our life, and we can truly say it is done, and that is true freedom. So I don't have a link with me. I'll post. I'm just on Facebook. I'm still kind of new getting things together, but this is what I help survivors do, and it is an honor to be here today to share my story with you.
Wow, Stephanie, thank you so much for you really opening up and share your past experience with narcissistic abuse and trauma, and the way you've used the tools in order for you to kind of break free from your past, so we can, like, those are the same tools that we can actually apply in our own lives. You've mentioned that the moment you started shifting from your story, from a victim story to the heroine story, because like when you make that shift, then you see the lessons. I like that. I was just writing everything down. And then once you see the lessons, you have to set those boundaries and thank that abuser, but you'll have to set the boundaries. Your thank you, it has to come with set boundaries. Wow, I can keep going on and on, but thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for sharing your story, for being able to open up and share your story with the world. And I believe someone out there who is watching, really, they've been inspired by your story and they'll be able to open up. So thank you, Stephanie. All right, so to our viewers online, let me see. Wow, we have such a huge following here. Our viewers online, if you happen to have any questions, I know Dr. Nancy has to hop off real quick, but if you happen to have any questions for Tara, if you happen to have any questions for Dr. Joy, if you happen to have any questions for Stephanie, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box, and we're going to attend to your questions at the end of the podcast. I can see Annalise Nesipo watching, and she's showing us all the love, all the likes, all the hearts. I can see Benoit, Mary Ward watching, Ichi watching, Mariah is saying no to bullying, no to bullying. And I can see it, Dr. Nancy posted her links. Please, good people, go out there and follow those links and book that call with her. And I can see Stella Goodwill is also watching, and he's giving us so much fire. And Tara also posted her consulting, her 30-minute discovery call. Please, please, please go out there and book that call with Tara. And I can see Dode, we had him, I believe last week, he was one of the speakers. Welcome, Dode, thank you for joining us today. Princess Sebe is saying that I love your resilience. I believe she was referring it to you, Stephanie. And Tara is saying that powerful shares in resilience and truth. Thank you, empowering. So our audience have really been inspired. They've been motivated. And I believe with all these messages, really, they're going to go back and watch their replay and apply it to themselves, because we'll have to heal the world with our very own humanity. And this is what we are doing exactly today. So thank you so much, amazing speakers. But you know, it's not going to be a show without me showing up, and I'm going to be the next speaker. But before I speak, what I'm going to do, let me share my bio with you, and then I will come back and speak. Enjoy. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. Really, my goal as a mentor or as a coach, it's so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to pursue success and drive sustainable.
I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights.
Dr. Nampumelelo Rial Kunene is an international human rights policy analyst who consults on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. She is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Lace Brown international speaker. This passionate leader holds a PhD with a discipline in leadership and business. Dr. Rial N. Kunene is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. She is also a coach, mentor, and an MC, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes. In a seriously funny way, Dr. Kunene is an award-winning author, 10 times #1 Amazon and international best-selling author. Her #1 best-selling book, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As a trainer, diplomacy protocol officer, and strategist, Rial believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. She is also a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations. Dr. Kunene's purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help organizations understand and promote human rights. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. This change maker, trailblazer, and revolutionary is pushing boundaries and creating a real change worldwide. Like a phoenix that never accepted defeat and rose from its own ashes, she wants to challenge you to unleash your greatness and rise to greater heights. Dr. Rial N. Kunene wears many hats. As a professional certified sales manager, CEO, certified travel counselor, publisher, medical esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for oaths, following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps her to rise to greater heights. The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Dr. Rial N. Kunene.
Thank you. So speakers, really, I was just taking notes after each and every speaker speak. I'm like, all this knowledge is really needed around the world of human rights, because everything comes under one umbrella. I remember Dr. Nanette, she shared about the science behind stopping bullying and suicide prevention. And then Tara, on the other side, she said that the leader that you're looking for is just inside of you. You are the leader, because leaders are only focused on the solution. So we are always searching for solutions in whatsoever we come across in life. And then Dr. Joy, as she brought, I just love the way she brought a fresh perspective on the mind of an abuser and how we can make better choices that when we are in love, really. And then Stephanie, she shared her own experience on this narcissistic abuse, and also she shared the tools that we can actually use if we are undergoing that situation to break free from our past and embrace that our true self. So I'm gonna share more nuggets around human rights, really, because when you happen to ask an individual, what are your human rights, you discover that people really, they are not aware of their human rights. The only moment they will begin to learn about their human rights is when their human rights have been violated. So that's the reason why I just took it as my own assignment, like to share with the world, educate the world around human rights. So what comes into your mind if you hear the word human rights? Just put in a chat box what comes into your mind when you hear the word human rights, because really human rights are the fundamental rights and freedoms that are inherent to all human beings, regardless of your gender, nationality, place of residency, sex, ethnicity, religion, or even your skin color. So human rights are not just about the law. Thus, human rights are non-discriminatory, meaning that all human beings are entitled to them, and you can never, ever be excluded from your own human rights. Good people, you really don't have to see the whole staircase in life to get to the top, but you need to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you'll have to get started to become great in life. So get started today. My everyday book, it says that learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, and plead the widow's cause. So get started today and seek justice, correct oppression where you see it needs to be corrected, and plead the widow's cause, because I believe that we all have a voice, but not everyone knows how to use it. So as an advocate for human rights, I encourage change makers and educate them on the issues at hand so that their voices can be heard too. So I work with the individuals in charge, just listening closely before calling out issues that need change, because I serve not just as a vocal protester, but I just go one step further by encouraging all these changes through education instead of like merely telling government leaders why something needs fixing, which happens quite frequently. Hence, I'm here today like to educate everyone to know their human rights, learn about human rights, learn about your own human rights. Good people always seek passion, always seek passion. Try by all means to get familiar with your own human rights. It's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call to get familiar with human rights. But when that alarm clock goes off, please don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up, get going, and learn more about your human rights so that you will know when your human rights have been violated. So our organization, it fills a critical role in society by providing valuable services that governments may not always be able to deliver. From poverty relief to human rights advocacy, we are as vital for supporting and the most vulnerable members in our communities. So we are an integral part of our society, and we are involved like globally in human rights, climate change, as well as humanitarian aid, because I believe that there are many ways in which we need to persuade governments to adopt human rights related legislation. Some of these, it can include like providing information for the general public just through webinars like this, or maybe through side events, or maybe formal speeches, or even like lobbying officials, maybe during meetings and negotiations, because that's when I believe that's when diplomacy and protocol steps in. Kings and queens, really, you really can't give from an empty cup. You cannot give from an empty cup. Today, I feel like I'm just giving from an empty cup because I am just forcing myself. It's been a flu season. It's been a flu week, and I'm like forcing myself, but I'm on my way to recovery. But honestly, you can't give from an empty cup. So what you'll have to do, you'll have to fill your cup first, and then from the overflow, that's when you're gonna be able to share with the world. That's when you're gonna be able to give to the world, but you can't give from an empty cup. So it's high time you educate yourself in human rights. You educate yourself and on diplomacy and protocol, because it goes hand to hand with human rights, because when you speak of diplomacy and protocol, it really scrutinizes the manners of global relations, using their ability and discretion in dealing with others on an international level. So it is very indispensable in today's universal economy, because being conscious of societal etiquettes and the practice of upright conduct on a daily basis, it will enable you to be more effective in almost all business activities and social gatherings. So diplomacy is a skill that plays an essential role in many areas of our lives, with kind of a generous amount of patience in order for you to be able to work towards understanding others' views. So protocol is a significant part of diplomatic practice in order for you to ensure that roles are being directed according to the official societal laws. So I remember myself, I wrote this book, Diplomacy and Protocol. So it covers all the vital basics of practices that simplify international communication, and it will give you like practical insights that will expand your efficiency in a wide variety of settings. So as flight attendants always say, that put on your oxygen mask first before you assist the person who's sitting next to you, because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help could possibly go down when that flight goes down. So put on that oxygen mask first to yourself before you help your neighbor. Put on that oxygen. That oxygen mask is knowledge. That oxygen mask is wisdom. Like you attend seminars like this, you gain more knowledge around that area that you want to improve on, because the reality is your journey to be a better person, it starts with you. It doesn't start with your spouse. It doesn't start with your children. It doesn't start with your neighbor, but it starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential. So don't ever, ever give up on your heart's desires. You know, just recall this just in case you can't find a way. You can have the drive within you to become what you really want in life. You know, I am a firm believer of affirmations. So we're going to affirm this. We're going to affirm this together by placing your left hand on your chest, and then you're going to raise your right hand. Let's just affirm this. You're going to say, I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Can you say it one more time as if you have faith in your own powerful voice? And guess what? It will echo throughout the whole universe. Say, I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Yes, you can have that drive within you. Just give yourself a round of applause, because you can have the drive within you, the drive that you need in order for you to get where you want to be in 6 months is just inside of you. No one else has that drive except you. You know, it's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful, beautiful name, Nompumelelo. I know many, when they try to say my name, they always butcher my name, but Nompumelelo, really, Nompumelelo in my own language, it means mother of all success. So you can see that I am really, really challenged to chase after success. No matter what comes my way, I'll have to chase after success. So if I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve? Maybe let me say in the next 6 months. I know myself, I am one of those. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights. Because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. So as a coach or as a mentor or as a human rights analyst, really my purpose is so simple. My purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help as many organizations as I can for them to understand and promote human rights. So I also make a difference by bringing solutions and educating others, because we'll have to remember that a right is a freedom of some kind. It doesn't matter where we were born or what kind of family we were born into. We all have the internal recognition of the moral quality of one's motives and actions. It was Nelson Mandela who once said, to deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. Trust me, this message, it really states something within me, because I am a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations from even happening in the first place. So what I do, I consult on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance, and then I advise on best practices for implementing human rights programs. I can also assist, like I've been assisting organizations with audits of operations against international standards. So I do research and help draft like human rights related policies on discrimination at work, harassment at work, diversity and inclusion, as well as patients' rights and many more human rights related policies, because I believe that I have a duty of raising awareness of people's rights in providing solutions, because I believe that an essential thing in human rights is based on the principle of respect for the individual. Each individual deserves respect no matter what they do or who they are. So that's my responsibility. I so wish that you can just tell yourself that, you know what, I've had enough. All these amazing speakers have shared more nuggets that I really need in order for me to gain more knowledge on human rights. So I'll have to go out there and be the change that I want to see in this world. But in order for you to go out there and be the change and make a difference, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry, like the hungry lion in the jungle. Really, that hungry lion in the jungle, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you're that giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. And it's so funny though, because even with elephants, when they say lion, what they do is that they run. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that, you know what, I'm a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I see that lion, I'll have to run. And it's so funny because with lions, They are not the biggest animals in the jungle, but they already told themselves that, you know what, everywhere I go, I am the king of the jungle. So I believe that's the lion mindset that we need in order for us to be the change, to make a difference, to be the voice for the voiceless in our communities. Because I believe that we all rise together, and we rise by lifting each other up. We don't rise by stepping on another person to get to the top, or maybe by pulling everyone down, but we rise by lifting each other up. You know, it's so funny. When I was in the 8th grade, I'm just going to cut this story short. When I was in the 8th grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I saw Dr. Joy with the Phoenix Rising. So I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. Really, that English teacher, she didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me, and it also aligns with my destiny. So for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor, which represents our capacity for vision and success. So I want to encourage you, if you're watching and listening under my voice today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside, and trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes, since the phoenix has to die, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. And I know you've heard this before, that your setback is your setup for your comeback. Your setback is your setup for your comeback. So if I can be honest with you, I don't know what goals you've set for the next 6 months. I don't know what dreams you have for your own future. But here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that with God, we are all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gift and following God's idea, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach your full potential. My everyday inspiration, Mr. Les Brown, he once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, what talents, and what books will die with you? And the late Dr. Miles Monroe continued saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the dreams, all the visions, all the goals, all the skills, all the talents have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me, all these listening to all these amazing messages, it stirred something within me. And that was when I decided to follow my own dreams, because it gave me a purpose to see my goals through and understand that I do have everything I need to reach to my full potential. So this year, I am also determined as much as I can to rise to greater heights, with many motivated professionals, with many motivated individuals who are ready maybe to start, grow, and scale their businesses within 90 days. Or maybe you are that individual who started writing that book and then you were like, oh, you know what? I will never have time for this. You put it aside. So if you just want to write and publish your #1 best-selling book within 90 days, trust me, go on my website right now and book that free consultation, no obligation, 30-minute friendly Zoom consultation call. In order for that call, it will allow me to find out more about the issues that you are experiencing and see maybe if you are the perfect fit for any of my programs that I offer, because I don't just work with everyone. So if you are that individual, maybe who is interested in becoming a public speaker, an author, a coach, podcast host, or maybe you are just that entrepreneur who just want to multiply your income by just doing what you love and just making a real impact out there. So go out there, visit my website at www.risetogreaterheights.com, because I want to empower you to become highly effective and an inspiring leader with a kind of personalized, measurable, but a scalable program. So go on my website and book that free consultation call. And yes, it comes with a guarantee. Whatsoever I do, it comes with a guarantee. So 100% money back guarantee if you decide to join one of my programs, because my ultimate goal is that you feel extremely confident about your purpose. So we will take it one step at a time, and you are definitely going to transform. So if you give me your why, I'll show you the how. How cool is that? So why am I doing this? Maybe you might have to ask, why are you doing this? Why now? I've been there, I've done that. I know how it feels like. 5 years ago, honestly, I was completely lost in the hustle. I was exhausted. I was overwhelmed. I had a ton of ideas, but there was no tried and true strategy to run with my ideas. So it was only when I invested in coaching, and that was when I launched my first premium offer. Then things started to change, and then I built an income generating business, just doing what I truly love and making a real impact out there. So now it's your turn. It's your turn to build your own wealth, because the power is just inside of you. So go out there and book that call, www.risetogreaterheights.com, because growing up, I didn't have much in life, because my father decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. And I thank God that I missed that flight, because I'm still here. I'm still sharing my message with the world, because I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you so much, mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. Thank you so much, our audience. So at this moment, please, our amazing speakers, please feel free to share your final thoughts on human rights with the audience, and also share with the audience how they can reach out to you, how they can work with you. And once again, if you have a freebie to share with the audience, please feel free to share. So Tara, the stage is yours, Queen.
Sure. So thank you for sharing. I love everything that all of the speakers were sharing. Definitely resonates. And thank you so much, Dr. Kunene, for sharing. Yeah, I mean, our creator really wants us to thrive here on this planet. We're meant to live, with ease, joy, and glory. We're meant to thrive, and we're being squeezed, and we're being asked to really just consciously evolve and to do that internal work, which is absolutely necessary. And I really can resonate with Stephanie's share. I think that again, nothing's being done to us, but it's for us, and it's for our evolution, and it's for our growth. That can definitely be really difficult when you're in the middle of maybe your own hell realm or challenges with your business or whatever it is. But I know from my own personal experience, it was the most challenging and difficult moments in my life that have got me to where I am. And so, looking back, they were blessings in disguise, even if they were really difficult. So I would just encourage anybody that's watching this live, that if there was something that was said, because I think it's like that, creator spirit is nudging us all the time to grow. When we know we need to do better, we need to do better. And I think that there's no better time to get the support that you need. This is, of course, free. There is some complimentary opportunities to jump on and learn more. And again, nothing is going to change until you do that internal work. And it's up to us individually. I got Mahatma Gandhi in the back there, Joan of Arc, and Marcus Aurelius. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change. The leader you are looking for is you. So you be the change that you wish to see. And it really is, it feels like magic and miracles, but it's not. It's by law. It's by God's laws. So thank you so much for having me, and just so much love and gratitude to each of these wonderful women and for all of the work that you're doing.
Wow, thank you so much, Tara. And I believe our audience really, they will reach out to you. They will reach out to you in that link that you've shared in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge, more especially around leadership. I am a firm believer that a leader is always a forever student. So thank you so much, Tara. You can go ahead, Dr. Joy, and please share with the audience. Unmute. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, it's been amazing to speak now. You know, we have more in common than not. You know? And it's great. Thank you, Doctor, for inviting me for this prestigious panel. And I want to share, as I listened to Carla, Nan, and everybody, we have a wonderful life ahead of us. But nothing happens until you give that gift to yourself. You have to give the gift of life to yourself. And right now we are poised for a new millennium, something that we've never known before. And if you choose to prepare yourself for what's coming, it's going to be very different. We're not going back. The pandemic changed all of that, right? But we can create a new reality, a new future for ourselves. And that's why I love coaching. I love helping people talk about mindset shifting. We say that all the time, but that is a really hard thing to do. You need help. You know, it's not, oh, today I'm going to turn on the switch. Why is it people? I'm doing the work. I'm being willing. I'm going to say that, being willing to change. But I'm going to tell you one thing. When you have somebody holding your hand, you have God on your side, you can do anything. And that's why I'm here. I'm named Dr. Joy for a reason. I tried to be. I'm joyful. And at the end of it, at the end of it, at the end of our journey together, I'm going to be so happy to reach the other side. I put my information in the chat. And again, thank you, everyone, for allowing me to share the stage with you. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Joy. And I believe our audience, I can also see you have an upcoming summit, October 9 to 11, on your background, business resilience. So I believe our audience, really, they will reach out to you. And we all need someone who will just hold us accountable for our own actions. So I believe our audience will definitely reach out to you. Thank you so much, Dr. Joy.
Welcome.
You can go ahead, Stephanie, and please share with the audience.
Hi, thank you again for having me. And like we've all said, it's resonate with each and every one of your stories and the work that you are doing. So if I were to leave you with anything, it's if you are feeling like you're constantly saying, God, why me? Or just why me? Why is all of this stuff happening to me? Whether you're in a toxic relationship or whether it's just the things of life keep happening to you, you know, as we're talking about human rights. Why all this injustice? Why is this happening? What, this isn't fair. Why me? I've lived a good life. I've done these good things. And if you find yourself constantly saying, why me? I really challenge you to take a step back, to pause, and to try to see your story through a different lens. And see if you can find those gold nuggets, those lessons, and see where you can change your story from a why me to a for me. And if you need any help trying to shift your perspective or to see your story through a different lens, please feel free to reach out to me. I don't have a website yet. I'm still in the process of working on everything. I am on Facebook and I have posted, not the link because I can't find that yet. But really reach out to me and we can help you shift your mindset and shift your story so that you can start living in freedom instead of the victim story. So yeah, thank you again for having me here today.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I believe our audience will reach out to you. We need someone who will just shift that mindset, like Bob Proctor always say, that shift to paradigm. So I believe they will definitely reach out to you so that you are just that person who will just shift their mindset, shift their mindset. And yeah, thank you so much to our amazing speakers. Really, your presence here, I know we are all busy people, but for the fact that you decided to spare that, that 90 minutes, 95 minutes now, just to be with us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, we're not taking it for granted. So we are so honored. We are humbled that you were here. You blessed us with your presence, with your knowledge. We are really, really honored. And to our audience online, thank you so much for joining us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all these amazing messages, from all these amazing speakers, you've been inspired, you've been motivated, and you are ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Siyabonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as